Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. We'll get back into more ML and Re content, except it's not, it's actually a part 2 of Beck. So we're going to get into Beck's video and finish off the second video before we move on to Foodie's videos. So let's get into it and let Beck take it away, shall we?
Hey everyone, first of all, I want to address the response to my last video. I want to thank every single one of you who commented kind things, everyone who watched my video and showed me understanding, and all the people who helped me through their generous donations and super thanks. The reaction was overwhelmingly supportive and heartwarming. I never anticipated the amount of support I would receive, and I can't even begin to tell you the difference it made in my life so quickly. Because of you guys, I was able to pay for my car to be towed, I was able to make up the difference in rent this month, and you even helped ease my worries about covering my car and insurance payments while I wait for their claim decision.
It is so heartwarming to see so many genuinely kind, generous people in this community, and like to help Beck get back up on their feet it's amazing to hear that. Like, you guys are awesome.
Just a handful of days ago, I was so afraid of losing everything and sliding backwards again on top of how it would be received. Even while I was making the video, I wasn't sure if even making it and saying anything about Amber or myself was the right choice. But after hearing your stories and your kind words, I now know that I could really make a lot of you happy by making content again.
Honestly, you have a channel, you have people that support you and love you. Go about your day, don't talk about Amber, she's non-existent. Enjoy your time and have some fun. Do your art, do your video games, go out, do some, ghost hunting and stuff like that. As long as you stay away from, cemeteries, that's the only thing I disagree with. Like, just enjoy your life and have fun. People will support you, they'll want to support you, and the people that want to stick around, they'll stick around.
I don't want to sound dramatic, but I truly feel blessed and saved by everyone who reached out to me. You've given me the opportunity to change how I am perceived on YouTube. This outpour of positivity made coming back to YouTube more welcoming for me.
Honestly, I was kind of the same way. Like, I was worried about how people would perceive my humor and just me in general, so I was very anxious and withdrawn, but now I'm kind of just who I am as a person. Like, who you see is who you get. Well, I mean, who you hear is who you get.
I would like to continue making content to some extent, though it may be kind of sporadic, mainly because I'm still working my full-time job that I'm really passionate about, and it takes up a lot of my time.
Honestly, understandable. Like, I have 2 channels, but I also have a full-time job. I get up at 6 in the morning, but I start work at 7. And then I get home around 5, but then I only can film for about 2 hours, which is usually around 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. So in between those times, I don't really have a lot of time to film. But at the same time, I do have a gaming channel that I can kind of pre-film a lot of videos and then edit them and post them when I want. But this one, it's a little bit more... you have to be a little bit more engaged because you have to film videos every single day to keep up with the current videos that Amber and Foodie bring out.
But it was because of your help that I was able to keep my job by getting rides to work and not continuing to miss too many days. So I'll do what I can to come up with new ideas and make things that you guys might like to see as often as I can.
Honestly, there's a lot of stuff to do, and like, you don't have to have a reaction channel just to watch, Amber stuff. You can talk about your life, you can talk about the stuff that you plan on doing, you can do exploration, gaming videos, art, ghost tours, mystery tours, all that type of stuff. Have a bunch of fun with it, figure out what you enjoy, and the people that want to stay, they'll stay, and the people that want the drama, they'll eventually leave and leave you alone.
Maybe we can even come up with some fun type of series together. I want to keep the positivity going and making this channel a safe place for all of us. In my last video, I talked about narcissistic abuse and the importance of having a support system. I'd like to talk a little now about the long-term effects of narcissistic abuse and the way it personally affected me over the years. For me, my self-confidence and worth was damaged more than anything. While I've had abusers be mean and cruel, no one could hurt me quite like I've hurt myself.
Oh, 100. Like, a lot of people don't really speak on it, but the worst thing about abuse is that if it happens for so long, you become your worst enemy. Like, you hate yourself more than anyone else could really hurt you, and that's like the craziest part about it, because not only are you dealing with the effects of whatever they did to you, but now you're also dealing with everything that you have against yourself, while also dealing with, living a life, maintaining, financial stability, trying to have a social life, keep the people that you do still have in your life going. You have so many different issues. It becomes so suffocating at times.
Narcissistic abusers can use that low self-esteem to convince you that your negative thoughts are true and that you really don't deserve better than how you're treating yourself. and how they in turn treat you. I thought I deserved all the horrible things being done to me and said about me, but it was painful, and that's why I've been so defensive in the past. Even though I've struggled with negative self-talk since I was little, it still never got easy to cope with.
It's also one of those situations where you want to defend your partner because you love them, but at the same time, they're not good for you because they are abusive. So unless you get that outsider perspective, it's like, no, you don't know her like I do. I love her. She loves me. This is just her way of showing affection.
Finally leaving that kind of relationship after years of exploitation and mental gymnastics left me feeling trapped in a cycle of hopelessness and worthlessness. It took a lot of time, self-reflection, and having friends and family who saw better in me, who never gave up on me to build my confidence up to where it is today. Even now, I still struggle to see the good qualities in myself sometimes.
Honestly, it's just one step at a time. Take your time, work on yourself. You don't have to immediately go from 0 to 100. It's a journey that you go at your own pace. As long as you are not beating yourself down and you're slowly taking steps to realize you are a good person and that you are building up self-character and self-worth, that's all that really matters.
There were days that I couldn't get out of bed in the morning, leave the house, go to work, or take care of my basic needs. Healing has been a long and hard journey, but I'm proud of the progress I've made no matter how my progress may look to someone on the outside. You should all be proud of your progress too, no matter where you are in your journey.
I mean, Beck is pretty much right in that regard. Like, as long as you're a good person, you'll eventually see the good qualities in yourself and, try not to beat yourself up too much.
In my description, I'm going to link an article I found that has a lot of really good information, warning signs, a helpline, and how to break the cycles like these. Now, the next thing I want to address is Mr. Snowflake's upcoming video about me. I'm aware it's being made, but I haven't been asked to interview or anything like that. I'm not sure if I'll be able to watch it. Watching videos other people make about me can be really hard. I know it's going to cover a lot of really painful times in my life, some of which I was too out of it to even remember, due to different medications I was on, mixed with grief and the stress of my situation at the time.
Honestly, Beck, if you don't want to watch it, I completely understand and agree. Like, you don't have to do that if you don't want to, and no one's really forcing you to watch anything if you don't feel like it and you feel like your mental health will be affected by it. But if you ever get to the point where you feel like you're able to watch it, I do recommend it because it might give you a different perspective and allow you to get some closure on certain topics. Like, they're probably not everything. You might have a couple issues with certain things, but it could help. It's one of those things that might genuinely allow you to heal from the relationship and move on and better yourself even more so.
I trust Mr. Snowflake to give an honest perspective and make the video in a respectful way. And as you guys know, Mr. Snowflake has given me so much support and helped me out in the past, and I'll always be grateful to him as well. If he wanted to ask me questions about anything, I'd be open to helping in any way I can. And I think that if anyone is interested in the video, you should definitely check it out once it comes out.
Honestly, yeah, like, I think the video itself would be pretty good. Like, at the same time, he's probably going to give a fair criticism towards Beck for certain things that they have done, but he's not going to overstep and probably attack or victim blame Beck. It's sort of like, everybody has a past, everybody makes mistakes, we're not perfect, and the best thing we do is understand what we did wrong, change for the better, and try to make amends if we have hurt someone. That's all we can really do as people.
His content is really well made and thoroughly researched. Honestly, I'm not even sure where he got that baby picture of me. I'm already impressed.
Yeah, no, like, I've seen a couple of his videos, and he's, like, hardcore into the research. Like, I could never be like that. The man is a bloodhound for information.
After going through some of the comments, I picked out a few things I wanted to talk about and respond to. So I'll be going through those now. A frequently asked question was about something I mentioned in my last video.
Honestly, a lot of people, like, throw the term suing around as if it's something that you can just do on a whim, but it takes a lot of work. And even if you do it all right and you have all the right information, it's still not a guarantee that you're gonna win. Like, a lot of people just get absolutely screwed in the court system. So, like, even if Beck had everything they needed in order to win the case, like, it takes one simple judgment and then it's over and done with.
Some people asked why I haven't legally pursued the money from the live streams I was in with Amber or had questions about the attorney I talked to. I wanted to go more into detail for those who were confused and wanted me to try and get that money back. I did want to stand up for myself in that way and to fight for what she owed me.
I also can't remember correctly whether or not they had like a written contract, which is a very big thing in a lot of places. And even though someone does agree to give money over, it doesn't really matter all that much unless they have like a written contract for a lot of places. I mean, it could be different in the area in which they live. Maybe a verbal contract is as good as a written contract. I don't know. But a lot of places don't take it seriously. It's just word of mouth and it doesn't really mean anything.
I didn't want to feel like she had won and gotten away with it. So last year, I tried working with an attorney who had reached out and contacted me and offered to work pro bono on my case. He seemed legit and confident at the time. But when I wasn't able to provide him an updated address for Amber to serve her with the lawsuit, he said that he would send her an email. But I have no way of knowing if she ever saw the email, and after that, I stopped hearing from the attorney altogether. I'm guessing that he just wasn't willing to put in more time into something without any return on his end.
It is somewhat understandable because like it is a job at the end of the day for them, so working for free is going to discourage them more so to put the effort in if they were to get money out of it. But like just one email, like I mean you could put a little bit more effort in than that.
Unfortunately, pursuing things further just doesn't seem realistic for me right now because of the time, the fees, the complicated legal system, and the unsure outcome. I just don't know enough about it, really.
And that is something that really comes down to it. There's just so many technical things that can go into a court case that could potentially end wrong, and if Beck does have to pay for it, they could be out a bunch of money and be basically set back even further than they were before.
Next, I'm adding this in here because it wasn't really in my comments, but it is important. I was shown by a friend that a picture had been floating around of a cat that looked similar to Rarity, and the cat was at a shelter in Wisconsin, found after she'd gone missing. My first reaction to the picture without looking too closely was, that's not Rarity. But now looking closer and comparing old photos, the markings are very similar. I wish there was a full body picture of her from the shelter. It's hard to tell if the white on her paws match exactly, or if there's any white on the other side of her lip because of the angle and the bars in the picture. I can't say for sure that it is Rarity to ease all of our nerves, but it definitely could be her. Obviously, I would want her to be found rather than still be out there anywhere. If it is her, then I hope whoever adopted her from the shelter is a kind person with a good home and that she is safe and warm. If it isn't, I still wish and hope that someone quickly took her in and she isn't suffering.
I mean, the photos aren't the best quality, and having, like, the distinguishing features not be in frame, it makes it even harder to tell. And, like, again, it is a sad thing that Rarity may not even be with us anymore, but at the end of the day, if she is adopted by someone else, thank God, and I would hope that she is safe, sound, and just in a loving home. Like, although I do think it would be somewhat of a good idea for her to go back to her siblings, I just don't want her near Amber. Like, I don't want the other animals near Amber. It really just cements the fact that Amber's a shitty pet owner. It's the fact that she would rather eat 7 candy bars and brag about losing weight or being her true authentic self on camera instead of getting her animals microchipped after she lost one.
On a happier note, I had lots of people ask if I would be taking commissions again. And I really appreciate that there are a lot of you that would be interested in commissions from me. Last time I tried taking commissions, I didn't anticipate the amount of time it would take to get to everyone. And I know it was a bit of a mess. So I would really need to figure out a way to do that where I could only take a couple at a time to ensure that I can get to them in a timely manner. I'll be posting on my community tab about details if I get that all figured out. Maybe we could do a free raffle or something. Let me know if you have a better idea.
Honestly, the best would probably be like a commission website, probably kind of like Cameo, where you can just take the ones that you want at any given time instead of people just throwing money at you, hoping that you'll get to them eventually.
Continuing on top of the art commission stuff, I had lots of interest in what characters I'm drawing and if I would talk about my favorite anime shows and inspirations. And so I'm going to have every character I draw for you named on screen with the source that they're from for you guys.
That could also be something you also want to do. Like, if you want to talk about anime or art or comics or games or anything like that, draw some stuff while talking about it. Just have some fun. Like, geek out. People would love that.
Then I think I'll make a separate video later about all my favorites. From Cartoon Network to Adult Swim to Disney and Ghibli. Hopefully you guys will be into that. We could get into other stuff too, like music and movies and things. I happened to catch this comment asking to draw Bill Cipher because their son loves Gravity Falls, so this one is dedicated to Darth Panda 5142's son.
This should be fun! Remember, reality is an illusion, the universe is a hologram. Bye, Gold, bye!
Honestly, I love Gravity Falls. I also like the fact that they didn't push for more seasons because they wanted to end it on a good note before it got boring and stale, like a lot of comic books and games and movies and TV shows and anime and stuff like that, because they know it's only going to be like the one IP, so they're going to drag it out as long as possible, and they just make it boring and awful. I love One Piece, but it's getting way too long. I love Naruto, but I hate, Boruto. I hate the new generation. I hate the blue vortex and all that. And you can even go as far as saying, The Simpsons and stuff like that. It's getting to the point where it's just stale and repetitive, and, so many good shows should have ended ages ago.
And finally, I saw people asking if I would ever consider making videos reacting to Amber's content. And I definitely don't want to make this channel an Amberlyn Reed reaction channel. However, I have thought about making react videos to other things in the past. And if I decided to do those reactions, then maybe in time I could react to some of the old clips I was in on her channel too.
Honestly, yeah, that's not a bad idea. The people that want the drama will migrate over to that, and they'll leave the people more so that are interested in you as a person over on this channel.
Depending on the clips, of course. This way, I could share my side of my perspective of what was happening at the time, and I'm sure you guys would find it interesting. But I don't want to watch anything that's too much. Maybe you guys could give me some mild suggestions to react to. The last thing I want to talk about is my experience living in Appalachia as a member of the queer community, and a little more about how I came out. I know I have already shared most of my coming out story, but I wanted to share a bit more about what happened after. Unfortunately, even today, a lot of people growing up in Appalachia still experience fear and discrimination within their homes and circles, and may feel that they can relate to my experience.
Which I don't understand why so many people have children, but then get upset when a child potentially may have some sort of issue, or maybe gay, or whatever it may be. And it's don't have children if you're not prepared to love them, regardless of who they are as a person. Within reason, of course. You don't have to love, Ted Bundy, but make sure if your child is gay, you still love them, appreciate them for who they are.
Growing up, I knew what being gay was. My cousin came out as a lesbian when I was a toddler, but I didn't realize that I was for a long time because of religion and heteronormativity. The realization hit me suddenly. I was terrified and went through many stages of grief, mourning who I thought I was, and even worse, who my family wanted me to be. I knew some of my family's love had limits. I was quick to accept myself, but I knew my family and friends would be another story. I hid it for a while until my mom discovered a love note in my room addressed to a girl and confronted me about it. It was a Sunday night, and my mom asked me to stay home from church that day. When everyone else had left, we had the talk. I remember being told that it would have been better had I been dead or on drugs than to have been gay.
Honestly, that's 100%, heartbreaking. I'm lucky enough to have supportive parents, and I'm lucky enough to have certain friends and family members that did accept me. That being said, I have a lot who didn't, and I more so was just at the mentality by the time I got to the age where I came out, where it's you like me, you don't like me, doesn't matter, you don't have to be in my life. If you have a problem, remove yourself, I don't give two shits.
That night, I had to leave the only home I'd ever known. I was told that I had to either stay and be straight or leave and continue down the path my family thought was wrong, being gay and being me. Obviously, this wasn't a real choice for me. I had to leave. My family was disappointed in me and wanted nothing to do with me unless I changed. One time, I was even asked to participate in an exorcism. I refused.
Honestly, 100% mad respect. I have nothing but pure joy at the fact of hearing that. Beck standing their ground and saying, nope, that's not going to happen. Awesome.
It took time and effort, but my mom and I reconciled, and I did get an apology for the things said that really hurt me that night.
Honestly, I don't really have much to say about that. Like, it's completely up to Beck and their parents whether or not they want to reconcile and build that relationship back. Like, I personally didn't have a choice in a lot of my family members because once they found out, they didn't respect me, nor they wanted anything to do with me. Like, I had a grandmother on my mom's side tell me that if she ever saw me again, she would unalive me, which is rather funny considering the fact that she has over 2 dozen grandkids and only two showed up to see her on her deathbed, myself and my sister.
It hurt to not be accepted, but in the end, the only thing that mattered was that she loved me enough to change and to put me before those beliefs she held so dear. I only wish I could have been there for her more in the end. I have other family members who I'm really close to who have accepted me too, and I'm so grateful for them. There are definitely still some whose love is conditional, but the ones who matter are all I need.
And those are the people that matter. Keep the ones that love you unconditionally, regardless of what you are and who you are as a person, and tell the other people to kick rocks.
If you've watched this far into the video, thank you. I had a lot of great suggestions for new videos to make, so I may make a few more videos like this, but also trying some new things. Living in Appalachia, I also would love to cover our paranormal creatures and folklore. We have a lot.
I don't know what it is with gay people and loving cryptids, but we all do. Like, that's just one weird thing that we all have in common. It's like the cryptids and like the weird fixation on like folklore.
I also saw a lot of people suggest ghost hunting, and that is something I love a lot and want to do something with. I do have a ghost box, and I think it would be really fun to do for a video. Of course, this would be done in my or a friend's home or somewhere I feel is haunted, but where I can still be respectful, so probably no graveyards or anything.
Yes, like, I hate people that go to places of like massive tragedies or like cemeteries and just try to dick around with ghost box or Ouija boards or cameras. Like, no, respect the places and don't go there.
I also wanted to thank you guys for getting me to 80,000 subscribers. That is absolutely amazing. And I am hoping that we can continue to grow this channel. That's enough yapping for one video. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Alright guys, come to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoy. We're going to be jumping into the foodie beauty content now. It is getting late, but I am going to do those videos because I want to keep up with them. That being said, hopefully see you guys in those ones. Bye-bye.